Good morning and welcome to the Brew, the Friday edition. Today we have Paulina Likos with us, and we are going to talk about the tale of two tech trades, semis versus software. So let's get right to and break this down and see where we end up. Oh, I thought we were going to do the music. Hi, Mal. Hi, Paulina. How are you?
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Doing well.
Good. Oh, we're doing well. Doing well.
I like this topic today. This is a cool topic, Paulina.
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad you guys like it.
Yeah. So the tale of two tech trades, right? Semis. Wait, do you say semis or do you say semis?
Says the guy who's looking into buying a truck.
Semis. I'm gonna go with semis. I don't know. Anyway, so that
I'm gonna say both. Let's bring it both home.
Let's do both. Versus software. So you do your thing, and we're gonna ask questions because that's what we do best. Let's do it. So tell us the tale, Paulina.
Yeah, so I'm sure the first question that comes to mind for the audience is what is happening? What's going on in this shift? Why is there a competition between semis versus software stocks? So there has been a notable shift when you look at these two groups of stocks among the investors. And what's happening is they're favoring semiconductor stocks over software stocks. So recently, the semiconductor sector and stocks, a lot of them have been hitting all-time highs, while software stocks, on the other hand, have been on the decline. So there's been this deterioration in the software stocks over the past few months, and that's causing some concern among these investors. So as a result of this shift in these different sectors, we've seen declines in stocks like Salesforce, Snowflake, ServiceNow. These are very big software names. And this trend kind of reflects the broader market sentiment of investors pulling back in their software investments.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the backdrop of the tale of two tech trades that's been happening.
Sure. So what's happening and why the shift? Why? I mean, I think I've got an idea, Mal, and don't say AI, whatever you do. Okay. Sorry. So why the shift, Paulina, do you think?
Well, I think everybody knows the answer here, right? So let's kind of look at the timeline. The answer, to keep it short, is AI, specifically generative AI. So this divergence that's been happening between the software and semiconductor stocks, it kind of began around September of last year. Since then, software has been losing momentum, semis have been gaining momentum. Wall Street has been doing a lot of research on this, of course, and they've been seeing this gap widen. Particularly this exaggeration of this gap was pretty evident in February. So that's kind of what's happening, and particularly, software companies, they've been scaling back their budgets and allocating more of that money towards AI. So this is kind of the reason why software names have been on the decline versus AI has been on the rise.
Okay. Interesting.
Inversely correlated.
Yes, they have. And we've seen like a stock like Nvidia has been insane. I did the downside play the other day, and it went from, before it split, it went from 1100 to 1200, and I was playing for the downside. It went up 100 points from where I got in.
Yeah,
it didn't go well. Let's put it that way. I'm always betting against the band for some reason. I always fade. I don't know why. I can't figure it out.
You were on dishes that night. Well, is it the 90-90-90? Have you ever heard of that rule?
No, I've never heard of that, Mal. What does it mean?
Okay, we'll talk about that later. But look it up. 90-90-90.
So Pauline, when did this divergence start, do you think? You said last year, latter part of last year?
Yeah, it started kind of last year. It's been that the trend has been kind of volatile, but It's been happening throughout the past few months. And recently, when a lot of these companies reported their earnings, like Salesforce, it plunged, I think, like 20% after it reported, because they said that they're going to be seeing lower sales and shrinking deals, or some of those deals might be delayed. Other companies like MongoDB and UiPath, they lowered their revenue forecasts as well. So there was just a lot of negative sentiment happening around these software stocks that contributed to declining confidence.
Yeah.
And then, obviously there was an opening for AI, because that's where everybody is these days. So that's why we're seeing this shift. However, I might add, recently there's been a slight reversal of this trading pattern, where there has been a little bit more of confidence coming back into the software stock. So obviously this is a trade that's in flux, and a lot of things influencing the market there.
But isn't it weird though? I mean, it seems like, tell me where I'm crazy. It seems like software needs the AI chips in the first place, right? For their software, ultimately. So isn't there sort of some symbiosis here where they kind of feed on each other? I'm surprised that they diverge so much. Where software out of favor, let's buy these semiconductor stocks up, but they're kind of interrelated anyhow, right? Do we ultimately get back to some sort of, instead of inverse relationship, a direct correlation in terms of movement? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes complete sense. I mean, software is a huge part of the tech sector, and what's driving tech is these chips that are required to train these AI models, and software is definitely among those areas. So when you look at all the Wall Street research that's out there, they essentially say you can't count out software. It has to be a part of your technology portfolio.
Sure.
So because it does play a crucial role in generative AI. So software is still an essential component of the tech industry, and it can't be underestimated. So it's, definitely still important, even though it's volatile right now.
Okay. So Mal, we have to put on a long delta trade in the software component.
Right. I think we're gonna see semiconductors. I think the technology will also advance, but we're gonna see this in Internet of Things and automation and EVs and what doesn't require a semiconductor. And so I think it's like investing in oxygen. Can't go wrong there. I think software companies, they, especially high growth, and are they affected by the interest rates at all? So do you find that, when investing in some of these new companies, that we're discounting the future earnings, and does that get affected by interest rate hikes at all? In which case does it affect the stock?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because software is in the tech sector. The tech sector is a sector that requires a lot of investment, and when you have higher interest rates, it makes these investments more expensive. I'm sure that's part of it, but with the market expecting rates to be cut by the Fed at least 2 times this year, I think that's kind of offsetting the interest rate risk. But it's definitely a factor that I'm sure is in all these like algorithms that traders are using, for sure.
Right.
Interesting. I wonder, what do you think's the medium term sort of bent on this stuff? Our software is probably going to rebound, right? We would think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think in the short to medium term, the market is going to favor semiconductor stocks, as they have gained momentum ever since Nvidia posted a really positive earnings print, and its stock was obviously going through the roof. So because of that, because of Nvidia and just Nvidia, there's a lot of confidence in these semi companies, particularly those exposed to AI. I think software companies that have particular exposure to AI are going to bode probably better than others. But it's just this, temporary rotation that we're seeing, which I think it's going to kind of come back to equilibrium as things kind of settle.
Right. Are there any, I don't follow this sector very well, but and it seems like most of the chip companies are foreign companies, and Taiwan has a big basis of these types of companies, right? The semiconductors. Are there any major players in America who compete there
for semiconductors? So so Taiwan Semi, that they're a very strong semiconductor company, because a lot of the chip makers, they actually don't make their own chips. So I think they utilize TSMC's Taiwan Semiconductors chips. They're kind of like the foundation of a lot of the chips that are being put together by these big companies like NVIDIA, AMD, and so forth, which are based in the US.
Sure.
So actually, this has been a hot topic on Capitol Hill, where they're trying to diversify away from TSMC and trying to get more of that investment into the US. So that's been a big push by Washington.
And that's the CHIPS Act, right?
Yes, I believe so. I think that's part of it.
Yeah, I think that aims to boost US semiconductor manufacturing, I believe. So, okay, Mal, I see how it works. We got to throw a little act in there to get a little stimulation.
I will say that I think it was one of the most important conversations. I think in geopolitics, whoever wins the AI speed war will end up ruling the world. And, in that push, we as human beings should, I'm pro AI. Obviously, I think there's a lot of great levers, and new jobs will be created, old jobs will go away, but new jobs will be created. I might be overly optimistic, probably, but I think it's important to stop, take a breath, and make sure we're building in a very aware, multi-generational direction. And just want to say that because there's a lot of push without really contemplating where this is headed. And there's a great book called Chip War that you can grab on Amazon, which is a great foundation for what's going on. Really neat book.
That's cool. Did you read it?
I'm reading it, actually. I'm in the middle of it.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to read it then.
Well, I'm audibling it, so I don't know if that counts.
That still counts. It counts.
All right.
I'll count that. Okay. Any final thoughts here on the semis? I mean, I get it. I think my biggest surprise is how they've gone in opposite directions, software versus semi. So I think that has to have a kind of a resetting of sorts ultimately. But maybe I'm wrong on that one. I don't know. It just seems like it's been overdone on the software side.
We probably see a consolidation of software companies. So there's probably Mag 7 is holding a lot of the growth asymmetrically, and probably with semiconductors, everything's using it. So its usage seems to be very decentralized and everywhere. Right. Where the guys using it seem to be more centralized. So that we'll probably see more of that asymmetrical correlation there.
So I had one last thought here before we have to let Paulina go. But does a company like Google have a need for the semiconductors, or not really? Yes.
Yes. Right? Yes.
From the AI part of the equation, anything else beyond AI though that they need that for? Besides, I'm not talking about the Android phone. I kind of get that it probably has to have a chip in it. I'm talking about the actual search engine that we use, or at least I use every day. I always find recipes on it.
That's a really good question. That's a great question, Lex, because my cousin used to work there, and she used to run these little think tanks inside of Google that would they're paid to just build anything. And so, so they're in there and they just get to like free build. And so semiconductors, they're doing a lot of other things other than just our search engines and AI. So they're embedded into a lot of stuff. So what doesn't use semiconductors at this point?
Okay, so that's interesting. I mean, I use Google. I like that. I use Google 100 times a day, I think.
Yeah,
interesting.
I use DuckDuckGo. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know.
Another one.
You're out there on the edge. You're out on the periphery. Do you know what I just realized? I'm looking at my little outfit here. I look like
Yeah.
a priest. I look like a priest. I look like Father Lex. I just
Right.
realized that. Look at.
Okay, so have
Unbelievable.
you seen in China that they have like these AI priests?
No.
Yes, they have artificial intelligent robotic yoga instructors and
Wow.
priests and you name it. So I think you meant to tie that in.
I don't know. I'm scared. I'm a scared.
And considering that behind Alexa, the AI brain is called Lex, we're still wondering if you're
Yeah.
human.
See?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Well, great, Paulina. That was really interesting. I like this stuff. I got to think about a trade on this one.
Yeah, I don't think this is a long-term trend. I think this is definitely something that's going to be short-term in nature and maybe something for traders to capitalize on.
So I should type in CRM in the computer on my trading platform, which is Salesforce, right?
Yep.
Isn't that the ticker? Yeah,
Yep.
and then take a little peek there, Mal.
Okay.
All right. All right, Paulina. Well, thanks. You have a great weekend. I'm sure the weather is sharpening up nicely out east where you are, so that's wonderful. Hope you enjoy it. And we will see you next time, next Friday. And until then, be well, safe.
Thanks. Have a good weekend, guys.
Paulina, how are you doing?
Bye, Paulina. Well, hello, Mal.
Hello. Maybe we should do something on ARM. You know, they don't produce much, but they provide the blueprints. So that might be something to look at too. And that begs the question, you know, I know NVIDIA tried to buy ARM and it got bounced out, but they seem to be quite connected. So it seems, you know, are they within the Sherman Act? And you know, I wonder, what's your take? I want to ask you a question with maybe anachronistic, you know, anti-monopolistic, capitalistic competition safeguards. Do you think they are outdated? Do you think there's even a place for them? I mean, what are we doing? We're kind of using these old laws that were built 100 years ago, this new tech.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here?
Well,
because we don't want to stifle technology. That just
I know that's what laws do. I think. I mean, obviously, there has to be some laws around it, but look at it. If they aren't, these laws aren't modernized to suit what's going on. I mean, you have to have revisions or amendments, whatever you call it, for a law,
right?
To make it work. I don't mind that at all. I don't think.
Should there be an expiration date on all laws?
I don't know about that.
Should there be a review? Now, I love the Constitution. I'm a constitutionalist.
Yeah, I mean, a review's good, I suppose. But you know, I think we probably adapt pretty well over time with these things. Some of them not, maybe, but you know, I think we have. Good.
There was this really interesting case that debating whether the FBI could enter into someone's emails, and so they used a law of trash cans that were put out onto the street. And once those are on your street, they become public.
Really?
So their case was that once emails are sent, it becomes public property. So I'm interested. So we're kind of piggybacking on this stuff. Yeah. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with AI regulation on some of this stuff.
Interesting. Well, Ms. CT, you'll figure that out.
I know. Are you pro AI or are you worried, or what's your take on it?
I think I'm pro AI. You know what I'd be worried about, not worried about, but maybe a little bit hesitant is AI making your medical decisions for you, or for the doctor, for that matter.
Right.
So I don't mind AI being used as help, but I still want the human to take what the AI generates and then put it into human terms.
Yes.
So like, think about it this way. You know, when we write something now, and you know, I'm writing my book. So I write a couple paragraphs and I throw it through the AI and have them, you know, enhance it. So they give you a little bit more syntax, you know, response back, and change a few words and a few sentences. And I look at it and decide myself, do I like that or do I like my version? And maybe take a mixture of both. So I think AI is great for that. I love it for that.
Yeah, my college roommate has a doctorate in AI, and he built AI, artificial intelligence, called Simpa. His name's Soren Solari. Go check it out. Yep. But he built an artificial intelligence that integrates with your medical well-being. And I think AI is really going to help construct this amazing Ferrari that we were all built with
Right.
on the medical side. And so it becomes binary at that point. So
Right.
we're all different. Some are fast and slow oxidizers, et cetera.
Mhm.
But ultimately you can take, some tests and it becomes very binary, in which case AI would be good there. But, as far as compliance,
Yeah.
am I going to just eat kale? I need a little fun in my life. So there does have to be that human component there. I agree.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But I like it. I do like AI. I use it a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always on Dolly. I'm on Chat GPT. I'm on the Gemini. I mean, I kind of like it. It gets you know what it does? What happened? What do you do when you're a writer and you got a little block? Just throw it in AI just to get you going. Just push
I
over
just
the
put
hump.
help. I put 4 letters. Help. I
Yeah.
just put help.
Right? I do it all the time
Right.
with things I'm writing. I say, hey, give me a description of XYZ. And it
Yeah.
gives me like, oh, that's good. Then I start doing it myself and I get moving. So it's a good
And
catalyst starter. It's a good, kick you in the
I
paint.
think
Get going.
I think you bring up the best point when you were talking about medical. I think when you use AI, it's a
Mhm.
good starting point, and then you have to go corroborate. You do have to go drill in and say, is that true?
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? And I do know that with each architecture, there are some biases. So I do
Right.
having
No.
human element. That's why I'm AI positive. I do believe there's always going to be a need for human element until AI decides they don't need us anymore.
That's right. So they don't need us.
Right? We're just a bootstrap to get it started. That's all humans
Right.
were.
Oh my God, that's funny. Very good. All right, Ma. Well, guess what?
All right,
It's time
Lex.
for the weekend. Let's get
Woo!
going.
All right.
Get
I'm
on
gonna
that
work on my
surfboard,
tan.
kid.
I know.
Right?
All
All
right,
right.
Lex.
Well, I'll see you next week. You be good.
Okay,
Have a
sounds
great
good.
weekend.
All right,
Bye.
bye, Lex.
All opinions expressed by Tradier Hub contributors are solely the contributors' opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Hub contributors as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. The contributors' opinions are based on their own personal research, but neither Tradier nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries warrants its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. Any trades or positions discussed or referred to by contributors may or may not be actual live trades or positions. Such information is not intended to be financial or investment advice. Tradier Inc. is the parent company of Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. and Tradier Inc. are separate entities with their own products and services. Securities products and services are offered through Tradier Brokerage Inc. Tradier Brokerage Inc. is an independent subsidiary of Tradier Inc., all rights reserved, member FINRA SIPC.